Like really tall and skinny and pretty. None of which I am.
Felicity Huffman is smart, witty, and always says what's on her mind.
We're both blonde and both have vaginas.
She has proven herself as an exceptional actress in both dramas and comedies.
Felicity Huffman is an extraordinarily talented actress.
And now 2 breakthrough roles have turned her career around.
You should never take that dress off for the rest of your life.
That it?
Cut.
From a desperate housewife.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And Felicity's brilliant.
To a gender bender in Transamerica.
Dude, this is great. I wish you would stop calling me dude.
It's all next on Extreme Close-Up.
Medical procedures to date.
The usual electrolysis, 3 years of hormone therapy, and a facial feminization surgery. After my operation, I will be a woman.
For almost 20 years, actress Felicity Huffman felt lost in Hollywood.
I haven't had great luck on my series that I've done.
But in 2004, Huffman's luck changed when she was cast in 2 career breakthrough roles almost simultaneously.
Good God, not an evening soap. Pui pui. I'm not even Jewish. No, I think what it is, sure, we could say it's nighttime soap, I don't care. As long as people watch it, I don't care what it's called.
It's called Desperate Housewives, and it follows the exploits of 4 women living on Wisteria Lane, where anything can happen.
Well, I play Mary Alice Young, who you'll find very shortly after watching the pilot kills herself. So I kind of get the whole pilot off to a great big bang.
It's about these 4 really different women, and we're all kind of searching for our happiness.
These gals do some crazy things in order to achieve happiness. You know, their desperation causes them just to do some wild things, but there's consequences for their actions.
Edie, what did you do to that dress? I made it audience friendly. Can you tell I'm not wearing underwear? Yes! Good. It's sort of Twin Peaks meets Stepford Wives meets 6 Feet Under.
In the offbeat serial drama, Felicity plays Lynette Scarvo.
I play a mother of 4. She has 4 kids under the age of 6. She was a high-powered executive and then is now a stay-at-home mom, and so hilarity ensues.
The surprising mega success of Desperate Housewives turned the media spotlight on Felicity and her co-stars.
It's just amazing how hot the show is, and it's, you know, it's real gratifying, and we're just grateful, you know. But you don't really ever get used to it, I think.
It's really so exciting. I'm on top of the world.
It actually hasn't really hit. I mean, the press is overwhelming. I guess that's where it lands. But we just kind of go ahead and do the show and shoot the show and do our thing.
Around the time Felicity started shooting the pilot for Desperate Housewives, she enthusiastically took her first leading role in the independent film Transamerica.
I got it on the day of the reading of the pilot of Desperate Housewives when we were doing a table read, and I shot Desperate Housewives, and then I went and I had about 6 weeks off, and then we did Transamerica.
When we started this film, she had just finished the pilot, so the show wasn't even on the air.
For anyone on the cusp of a breakthrough in series TV, Transamerica could be considered a gamble.
Oh yeah, I jumped at it. I mean, it was the role of a lifetime. I read the script and I fell in love with it.
I hereby pronounce you officially legal to undergo sexual reassignment surgery.
Thank you. I just... Thank you.
So, what else is new?
I got a phone call last night from a juvenile inmate of the New York prison system. He claimed to be Stanley's son.
No third person.
My son.
Huffman gives a startling performance as Bree, a pre-operative male-to-female transsexual who learned she fathered a son years ago.
She is a transgendered woman, so she was born a man, and she's saving up for the final sexual reassignment surgery, which is quite expensive. And she's been living as a woman, I'd say, for about a year.
Me, Toby Wilkins.
Jesus the Reformer?
That's one of these churches that sends missionaries out.
No, I'm from the Church of the Potential Father.
Thank you for bailing me out.
Kevin Zegers plays Toby, the son Bree never knew.
Toby Wilkins is the character that I play, who is Bree's son. He made up his last name. He's a street hustler in New York, and his dreams and aspirations are of finding his father.
That boy came in, he was ready to work, he was right on it, he was such a hard worker, so polite, so pleasant to be around. He was just magnificent.
He blew me away. He was right on target and right, so committed. And he called me more than once, really wanted the role. That didn't hurt. I loved his passion for it.
Transamerica was writer-director Duncan Tucker's feature film debut.
I try to blend in, keep a low profile. I believe the slang terminology is living stealth.
Do you consider yourself a happy person?
Yes. I mean, no. I mean, I will be.
People always ask me where this idea came from, and boy, damned if I know. It seemed to be a magical occurrence that a lot of different threads in my life came together.
I think Duncan did a smart thing. You know, it could have been an issue movie, which everyone sort of goes to dutifully. You know, transgendered are people too. And you go, oh yeah, good lesson. But what he did was he wrote a human movie and a funny movie.
Just ahead on Extreme Close-Up, Felicity Huffman feels just like one of the guys on set.
She loves sports, likes being in a man's world.
And later, she delves into a transformative role.
I knew that it was a great acting challenge. And I was basically scared to death every day we shot.
Miss Osborne, there's no such thing as a right answer in this office.
Yes, I'm a very happy person.
Felicity Huffman worked in relative obscurity in supporting roles most of her career. But in 1998, she landed an audition for a promising new comedy.
There was a buzz around pilot season that there was this great new half hour called Sports Night, and you gotta get in on it, and you gotta get in on it. And so I was calling my agents and calling friends to call Aaron to get me in on it.
Huffman walked away with the lead female role as Dana Whitaker, a high-powered producer responsible for putting a fast-paced show on the air every night.
Dana, she's great at her job. She's a monomaniac. When it comes to her social life, she's not as good as at her job. I think what's great about her is she's a three-dimensional woman in charge.
Is that what this is, a whole new ball game?
Listen, you pompous jackass. I'm closer to Natalie than anybody in the world, and I'm also a woman. She keeps things running. People refer to her as the glue. She's very ambitious. She's very, she lives for her work. She loves her work. She loves sports, likes being in a man's world, but she's kept her femininity.
After the cancellation of Sports Night, Felicity bounced right back and returned to TV in a reoccurring role on Frasier.
This is Frasier Crane and his producer, Roz Doyle.
Nice to meet you. She's a high-powered financial advisor from CNBC and comes in and she sort of looks down on this little station that, you know, she says reaches 2 area codes. Do you think you could get me some coffee, Rizzo? Yeah, sparks fly and we sort of go at it. But there's some tension, there's some attraction underneath it all.
Now it's time for something new, yet germane, inasmuch as finances are frequently a cause of that old bugaboo, stress. According...
Good afternoon, I'm Julia Wilcox. Markets were mixed today and slow trading. We'll discuss that, plus pharmaceuticals, the new semiconductors, now this.
I was supposed to introduce you.
You were cutting into my time.
Yes,
I'd like for her to be on for several more episodes. I'd like for the attraction to be investigated more, and you know, the attraction and the going against it, and sort of seeing how that, because that's always a fun dance to do. And I'd love to do more.
Yes, but I was giving you an hospitable segue. I thought that since you were new to the station, I could lend you my equity, if you will. Surely a dash of courtesy would be...
The Dow rebounded today, spurred by analysts' optimistic earnings forecasts.
Felicity's gig on Frasier lasted 6 hilarious episodes.
I'm a wasp and I have no lips. And if you have those two things going for you, you play an attorney.
Felicity scored another high-profile reoccurring role on the legal drama The DA.
I'm playing a defense attorney, Charlotte Ellis, and she's turning into a nemesis for Steven Weber's character. And she's going to give him a run for his money and try and become the next DA.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I think you're about to be dragged out of here on yet another crisis.
On the big screen, Felicity appeared with her Oscar-nominated husband, William H. Macy, in the critically acclaimed film Magnolia.
It's actually great because our schedules are so different that if we're not working together, I rarely see him. So when we work together, it's great.
We're a power couple.
And he's such a wonderful actor that I lean on him all the time, and he helps me with every scene.
Wait till you see. You're going to be knocked out.
These days, Felicity is getting raves for her first leading film role in the indie film Transamerica.
I thought you told me that you were a virgin.
There was this one girl at college, but the whole thing was so tragically lesbian that I didn't think it counted.
Wow.
Isn't she funny? That's all Duncan Tucker. He just wrote her, who wrote and directed the movie. He wrote her as this quirky, funny, uptight, sarcastic, well-educated.
Well, got a flight to Los Angeles first thing in the morning.
Maybe I'll see you out there. It's nice to be involved in something with somebody who's so good at their job. I think it's the same as anybody with any other profession.
Hold on. Toby, would you mind introducing me to your new friend?
Taylor.
Yeah, this is Taylor.
It's nice to meet you, Taylor.
It's so fantastic, this story, that when he finds his father, it turns out to be his mother. And Bree thought that the biggest thing in her life, the thing that would bring her happiness and contentment, finally, in a life that has been fraught with discontent and unhappiness. And she finds out that that plays second fiddle to something that's even bigger, which is this son that she never knew she had. That's the biggest thing in her life.
Eat your vegetables. You might want to use a fork. Just an idea.
I was frightened every day because the challenge felt overwhelming, and the cliff was so far to fall. And the fact that it came out and I watched it, and I thought it was a charming, lovely movie. And then on top of that, that it wasn't just buried and, you know, sent to video and somewhere was a gift. I mean, it's a gift. What more could you ask for?
Coming up, Felicity Huffman takes a detour from Wisteria Lane to explore her masculine side in Transamerica.
She's like your uptight aunt, crossed with sort of your wacky next-door neighbor, with a heart of gold.
And later, Felicity hits the awards circuit.
I feel like a goddess.
Felicity Huffman is finally enjoying the attention and opportunities that are sometimes unappreciated by Hollywood ingenues.
My expectations were much worse. The press line was fine. They weren't that interested, so it was fine. They're like, who are you? Okay, next.
Women are fabulous, and there's not enough of them on TV, and I think older women are fabulous, you know, as well as younger women.
After 2 decades of quiet, high-quality work, Felicity has taken center stage on the TV phenomenon Desperate Housewives.
We hope it makes interesting characters for television. I think they make interesting characters because the writing's great. That's Mark Cherry. I mean, if you write a great story, it usually has great characters.
We're overwhelmed by that. But I knew from the pilot that it was a really good show, smart, funny, and so I thought it had potential, but no one really expects this kind of success.
But with the growing success of the show, rumors were spreading that these girls weren't exactly bosom buddies.
Isn't it great? I love the rumor mill. Bring it on, say what you want, turn it up.
I feel so lucky. That's probably the best part about the job, you know, in the end, just to have made such good friends with these girls.
I'm just happy to have a part in a show that seems to be entertaining a lot of people.
But you know, bad gossip is more interesting than good gossip. I mean, how much of a story can you write if they're great friends and they get along? Clunk, and then there's nothing else. But, ooh, there's cat fighting. That you can write an article about, even though it's not true.
How can I help you if you won't be honest with me?
You can sign that consent form, please.
Switching gears and genders, Felicity Huffman plays a man a week away from sexual reassignment surgery in the indie film Transamerica.
Playing Bree was the role of a lifetime. I was scared. I was sure I couldn't do it, and I was scared every day of filming. But yeah, to be able to sink your teeth into that, to be able to try and unravel that was an amazing opportunity.
The American Psychiatric Association categorizes gender dysphoria as a very serious mental disorder.
After my operation, not even a gynecologist will be able to detect anything out of the ordinary about my body. I will be a woman.
Bree is like your uptight Aunt, I don't know, Aunt Betty, who's a Republican and very conservative and cares about how things look, and she's really funny.
Felicity is an actress who can become a chameleon and disappear. As Bree, she does just that.
I went to transgendered conventions. I worked with a woman who coaches men who are becoming women. Because, you know, usually they're later in life and, you know, they're 30 or 40 and they go, okay, you want to have a sex change, I understand, starting tomorrow, dress as a woman, put on makeup and go to the store, go to work. And, you know, it's an unknown world.
I had such admiration for the craft she called upon, vocally and physically, the discipline she had to exercise and teach her body how to do certain things so that it would look like a man learning to be a woman.
Get in here before the neighbors see you.
I thought you said your parents were dead.
Wishful thinking.
Your mother and I both love you. But we don't respect you.
It was great. I mean, to work with somebody who's that committed to, she's just a really good actress.
Felicity's final transformation took her from petite knockout to a bulky, dowdy transgender woman. This dramatic feat has worked for award-winning beauties like Hilary Swank and Charlize Theron.
I did a lot. I mean, I read every biography and autobiography I could get my hands on. I watched every documentary. I worked with many transgendered women, everything from working on my voice and the movements to going through the script page by page, making sure that they felt it was authentic.
The makeup wasn't that intense. It was contouring her face to bring out all of her bony structures as much as possible, putting her hair behind her ears.
It's such an original take on the character. You would think a transsexual would be about sexuality, but it's not at all.
Huffman gets inspiration and some handy coaching from husband William H. Macy, who executive produced the film.
When Felicity first read it, I read it, and we talked about it.
And Bill got a little involved then because he's a really great craftsman and he knows scripts. And then, you know, he worked with me quite a bit on the part. And then at the end, you know, Bill was brought in to help market it, to help people to, you know, to see it.
And plenty of people came to see the indie film, including Felicity's Desperate Housewives castmates.
They did. Wasn't that dear? And a lot of them had, you know, 5 a.m. calls this morning.
Well, we're really proud. So, you know, it's not often that you have something like this happen to one of the people you work with.
I'm real anxious to see it. And anytime we get a chance to support each other, we always do.
The fact that it's getting attention is just amazing. And the fact, I hope people go and see it.
Fasten your seatbelt.
I don't like wearing them.
Well, I don't like the idea of seeing your internal organs splattered all over the dashboard in case we get in a wreck, God forbid, so put it on.
See this shirt? Only cost me $2.
Quelle surprise.
Coming up next on Extreme Close-Up, Felicity Huffman earns some long-awaited recognition.
I'm so surprised. I can't believe I'm here. It's an out-of-body experience. Hello. Goodbye.
Felicity Huffman has proven herself as an outstanding actress in dramas as well as comedies. After starring in 2 breakthrough roles, Huffman finally has earned wider notice in Hollywood.
It happened for me so late. I'm such an old broad. And I've had so many times where I haven't worked for a long time. And so I think you get a deep sense of gratitude embedded in your bones. And gratitude is always brings you back down to earth.
In September 2005, Felicity won the Emmy over her two Housewives co-stars for Best Actress in a Comedy Series.
I feel like they're gonna come in and go, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't mean Felicity Huffman, we went Schmelicity Guffman. But yes, I'm shocked.
In 2006, Huffman received Golden Globe nominations in two mediums. Best Actress in a TV comedy for Desperate Housewives, and her first nod for Best Performance by an Actress in a motion picture for Transamerica. She walked away with the Globe for her first lead role in a film.
I have the best job in the world. Honest to God, I do. And then the fact that Transamerica is being noticed and liked is fantastic.
Felicity found herself once again in the unique position of attending this year's Screen Actors Guild Awards as a dual nominee in film and television. Huffman's peers honored her with the SAG for her comedy role in Desperate Housewives.
I'm so honored for me, and that it's your peers. I know everyone says that, but it really does. Actors are tough on actors, so when they say they like your performance, it means something.
Now, Felicity Huffman is a first-time Oscar nominee for her portrayal of a transsexual in the film Transamerica.
These shoes? $3, $1.50 each. You know how much these things are worth in Japan?
$3?
Japanese people will kill for old Nikes.
Then you probably should avoid wearing them in Japan.
Yeah, I'd probably be like disemboweled by a ninja.
You don't have to say like. Probably disemboweled by a ninja is sufficient.
First of all, the movie is a comedy, which not many people know. It's actually really funny. It's a funny road movie.
You don't have to be a transsexual or anything like that to enjoy this movie. It's just about two people trying to find somebody who they have something in common with, trying to find love and dealing with the fact that they feel weird, which I think everyone feels weird most of the time.
I can't handle this. I had to camp out last night on the ground with bugs. Because he is impossible.
Felicity's getting plenty of recognition in festivals around the world. Win or lose the Oscar, she's about to join the exclusive club of actors who've made it big in Hollywood.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I think that it'll be much clearer that she's, she's a movie star, and I think that she deserves that credit.
Anyone that you're rooting for?
I don't know. I love I think all the performances are amazing.
Felicity Huffman is a not-so-desperate actress who has found purpose in her life and more success than she ever dreamed.
I don't know if that happens in Hollywood a lot, to tell you the truth, but I sure am lucky that it happened to me.
Yes, I'm a very happy person.
How can I help you if you won't be honest with me?
You can sign that consent form, please.
The American Psychiatric Association categorizes gender dysphoria as a very serious mental disorder.
After my operation, not even a gynecologist will be able to detect anything out of the ordinary about my body. I will be a woman.